I would like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular business meeting of the Redmond City Council held on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024, commencing at 7 o'clock p.m. I will call roll, starting with Councilmember Forsyth.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Fields.
Here.
Councilmember Kritzer.
Here.
Councilmember Nueva Camina.
Here.
Councilmember Salahuddin.
Here.
Councilmember Stewart.
Here.
Excellent. The first item on the agenda is the special orders of the day for the nomination and appointment of council leadership. I will be opening nominations from the floor for the appointments, first for president and then for vice president, and this is how the process works. We will start with the position of council president. All nominations will be accepted prior to voting. When nominations are open, members do not need to be recognized to nominate someone. You just speak up. No second is needed. I will announce each name that is nominated. Debate on the qualifications of the nominees, if any, takes place. And when nominations and debate are done, did we lose the speak? Can you hear me out there? I think we lost.
I can hear you. I can hear you online.
Can you hear? Yeah.
Not in the room.
We're almost there. Can you hear? Yes.
Thank you.
Bad feedback.
I'll bring it down.
Okay. When nominations and debate are done, I will close nominations, and immediately following the close of nominations, voting will commence in the order the members were nominated. The first person to receive a majority vote will become the council president, and the same process will be repeated for vice president. Everyone got it? Great. Nominations are now open for council president.
I nominate Councilmember Kritzer.
There's a nomination for Councilmember Kritzer. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, is there any debate? Councilmember Kritzer, would you like to speak? Councilmember Fields.
So I think this is a really important decision for the council to make. I've been through 3 of these. I think one of the most important things for me as a council member is that my leadership, or the council leadership, empowers us, supports us, make sure that that all 7 council members are treated equally. And I think that in the past 2 years, Councilmember Kritzer has shown the ability to step up and fight for us and fight the battles on behalf of the city and the people that elected all of us. So I will be supporting Councilmember Kritzer for council president.
Thank you. Councilmember Kritzer?
Thank you for those words, Councilmember Fields. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just wanted to share, I'm really honored to be nominated. Thank you, Councilmember Stewart, and want to share a little bit about what I would hope to do as council president. First of all, actually, as Councilmember Fields just put it really well, I'd really like to be a leader that brings out the best of the 7 unique perspectives on our council. Our residents elected each of us to bring unique gifts and unique voices and to work together to serve our community. I want to make sure that we can work also with the mayor and the directors to be able to really focus on what we're here to do, public service, serving our public and making this an even more vibrant place to live. The last 2 years, I've worked as council vice president to make sure that we can also set up processes so that each council member's ideas can come to light in a way that's fair and transparent, such as creating our hopper process. And it's been really great to collaborate with our current, or with our past council president, Councilmember Forsyth. on being able to also bring forward as part of our council retreat a set of council priorities, making sure that we rank those priorities, and then being able to, behind the scenes with the mayor and with the directors, make sure that the things that are highest ranked for all of us get on the agenda. And I want to continue that to make sure that the things that are important to our council, ideas that people bring up, that they are fairly processed and that we can really take from the wisdom that is sitting up here on the dais. I also want to make sure that our council can live by our values that I've heard from so many of you, to be community-driven leaders, and we can do even more together to engage our community and to recognize that our community doesn't always come to us, and find innovative ways for us to go to them and to work together to be able to share our vision of what we're working towards, and to be able to really gather from our public the ideas to inform what we work on, so that we can truly serve our community. And then also to make sure that I'm improving communication ongoing. I think we've been making some strides in the last 2 years and continuing on in terms of communicating with council members about opportunities you have to engage with the community, as well as decisions that are going on internally and policies that are coming up, so that everyone can be prepared and we can all access the information that we need to make the best policy decisions. And would really love to find ways for each council member to be able to lead on the things that they bring as unique pieces of knowledge, and prioritize, especially for new council members, making sure that they get the experience that they need and the support that they need. So those are just a couple of things. I guess the last thing that I'd say is I think it's important with leadership to balance efficiency of our meetings and also the quality of discussion. And that's been something that I've been learning over the last 4 years, is how to manage meetings well, and will strive hard to make sure that I get that balance, to make sure that everyone's voice can be heard, but also so that we don't have to stay here until 1 o'clock in the morning every time. So, and we haven't been, I think the last 2 years, we've really been moving along. So, and I just want to end also by saying thank you to Council President Forsyth for her leadership the last 2 years.
Thank you. Is there any other debate? Councilmember.
Thank you. And I just want to start by saying, being this my first council meeting, I just am really excited that we get to vote on a leader to guide the council vision, and someone who, I know to be true to what the council will represent: diversity, bringing perspectives that align all of us so that we can make Redmond the best that it can be. So I'm really excited about, Councilmember Kritzer having the seat as council president.
Thank you. Any other debate? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote, and we'll go in order of seat. So we will start with Councilmember Forsyth.
Aye.
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 And that passes 7-0. Thank you very much. Next, congratulations, Council President. Next, we have nominations for Council Vice President. Are there any nominations? Council President Kritzer.
I nominate Jessica Forsyth, Councilmember Forsyth.
Are there any other nominations for Vice President? All right, seeing none, Councilmember Forsyth, would you like to speak to your nomination?
Just briefly, since I am under the weather, but I look forward to continuing doing the great work that Council President Kritzer and I started in the last 2 years, and I look forward to working with you all and serving our community.
All right, thank you. Any other comments, debate on Councilmember Forsyth? It's going to take me a while to switch the words. Council President Kritzer.
I'll just say, since I just said a lot of thoughts before this, that I really appreciated working the last 2 years with Councilmember Forsyth, and would love to be able to keep some of that teamwork going in the next 2 years as leaders of the council together, and keep developing on some of the processes and new ideas that we've put in place, and appreciate her stepping up to lead. Thanks.
Anything else? Seeing none, debate is now closed. This will once again be a roll call vote, starting with Councilmember Forsyth.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
And that passes 7-0. Congratulations, Council Vice President Forsyth. We now have our new leadership for our Redmond City Council for 2023-2024. Congratulations to both of you. Look forward to working with you. And I think they deserve a round of applause, actually. The next item is seat selection, which we do differently than every other city does it differently. So first, we go with the council president sits next to me, and then the rest of the council gets to choose their seats in order of seniority. And so we have some people who are, let's see. Well, first what we do is everyone gets out of their seats because everyone will be moving. I'll have Council President Kritzer sit next to me. Sorry, it's messy, I don't know why. And then we have Councilmember Anderson and Fields will be the first to select, and I have a coin to flip, which I will do it poorly. But I'm going to have Councilmember Anderson as heads and I'll do it here. Councilmember Anderson as heads and Councilmember Fields as tails, and I will flip the coin, and then we'll choose, and then we'll go on to the next. And it had heads. And Councilmember Fields, you're next. And because Councilmember Kritzer is now Council President Kritzer, Councilmember Forsyth, you're the next to choose.
Seat 3.
Seat 3.
To go with my position 3.
Next to Councilmember Fields?
1, 2, yes.
Perfect. So we'll put something there. Yeah, she's going to sit there. So no one sit there. And then Councilmember Stewart? And then the last is our last two council members. I'll, again, poorly flip the coin. And Councilmember Nueva Community will be heads. And this is tails. No, that was a big decision between that seat and that seat. Excellent. All right, and then we ordered new nameplates, so those will arrive in a few weeks, so that'll all get sorted out there as well. Thank you, everybody. Yes. Oh, we want to move the nameplates around? Yes. Thank you, Cheryl. We're going to start items from the audience, but as that's happening, we also have ombudsperson sign up. And it's a calendar, and it goes down, there are 12 months. The council president and vice president each get 1 month. And then everyone else gets 2 months of the year. And so what we ask to kind of keep it fair is that sign up just for 1 month as it goes down, and then as it turns around and comes back, sign up for the next month, so that everyone gets somewhat of a choice. So we'll start passing that down in just a moment. And Council Vice President Forsyth, I think we'll have, we'll type in the 2 months that have been taken, and you can share which month you want of the one remainings that are left, if that makes sense to you. Thank you, everybody. Next on the agenda is items from the audience. I have the sign-in sheet for members of the public to speak tonight. When I read your name, you'll come to the podium and have 3 minutes to address the council. Council members generally will not respond to comments or questions directly at the meeting. Members of the public are welcome to email the council anytime at mayorcouncil@redmond.gov. The views stated by members of the public do not represent the opinion of the City of Redmond. And as a reminder, RCW 4217A555 prohibits any public comment during the council meeting in support or opposition of ballot propositions, measures, or candidates. And just so you know, no one has signed up to speak remotely. We will start with Paul Quinn, then David Morton, then David Haynes, and then Alex Zimmerman.
Good evening. I have handouts that Cheryl's sending around. My name is Paul Quinn. I live in Sammamish. I care about recycling and composting and reducing what we send to the landfill. After all, my garbage goes into the same landfill as yours, so our trash know each other. What I'm sharing, I've learned through public record requests. Let's start with an important fact from King County's survey of trash sent to the landfill, which showed that 2/3 of what is sent to the landfill can be either recycled or composted. So 2/3 of our trash is actually not trash. I have provided a handout that shows for Redmond in 2023 through November, the city has put over 27,000 tons in the landfill, and of that, 2/3 or over 18,000 tons could have been composted or recycled. 18,000 tons. The handout also shows Redmond diversion rates are worse this year versus last year. Redmond only diverts 42% of what it disposes to recycling and composting. So 58% of what Redmond disposes of goes directly to the landfill. In addition, the city has no food scraps composting being done at 82 of its 127 apartments, 0. Our businesses divert only 34% of what they dispose of, hence 66% goes to landfill. I think it's clear what Redmond is doing for recycling and composting has a lot of room for improvement. In addition, we know that our King County landfill is literally filling up, and this will be costly to Redmond disposal customers. To counter our low diversion rates, I provided action items in handouts 2 and 3, and I'll review some of those next. The key to our improvement happens through each individual person in the city. We need to dramatically increase the education we provide with metrics we report to residents and businesses. This means in every single city newsletter, we need to provide a report card that shows how our diversion rate is for each category. Each person in the city needs to know if we're getting better or not. This regular report would also provide tips on how to expand recycling and composting. We need to make it easier for our households and businesses to recycle and compost, providing them for free the containers they can use in their kitchens and offices prior to putting them in their barrels. The cost can be offset by disposal companies and King County grant. This month, based on most recent numbers, the city will put another 2,500 tons of trash into the landfill. So we need action now. Your leadership changes our future for Redmond, our world. Your actions can help us reduce what we put in the landfill and reduce our greenhouse gases. You can show the way for other cities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have David Morton, and then David Haynes, and then Alex Zimmerman.
Good evening, esteemed council members and mayor. I'm David Morton, and I'm hopeful and optimistic about the possibilities that lie ahead in 2024. First, welcome to the new council members. Your commitment to serving the community is commendable, and we eagerly anticipate the fresh perspectives and ideas you bring to the table. As we embark on this new year, I believe it's crucial for Redmond to set ambitious yet achievable goals that address the diverse needs and aspirations of Redmond's residents. One key priority for 2024 should be fostering sustainable growth. Redmond's unique blend of innovation and natural beauty makes it a desirable place to live and work. Maintain this balance by working towards responsible and sustainable development that considers environmental impact, affordable housing, and transportation infrastructure. A comprehensive approach to growth ensures that Redmond remains a city where families can thrive, businesses can flourish, and natural resources are preserved for future generations. Second, try focusing on enhancing community engagement and inclusivity. Strength lies in diversity, and it's essential to create spaces and initiatives that bring residents together. Encourage forums where people can voice their concerns, share ideas, and actively participate in decision-making processes. Strengthening the bond between the city and its residents fosters a sense of belonging and ownership, allowing Redmond to truly represent the collective aspirations of its people. Furthermore, I urge the Council to prioritize investments in education and workforce development. As the global landscape rapidly changes, it's paramount to equip people with the skills and knowledge needed for the jobs of the future. Collaboration with local schools, vocational training programs, and businesses will ensure that Redmond remains a hub of innovation with a workforce ready to meet the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. Also, the Department of Commerce has released a draft list of priority measures for the state's Priority Climate Action Plan. Perhaps Redmond could pursue funding for several measures through the Climate Pollution Reduction Grant implementation grants and consider measures like expanding EV charging infrastructure, electrifying the municipal fleet, and providing programs or initiatives that assist small businesses in replacing gas and diesel vehicles with electric or hybrid electric. By embracing sustainable growth, innovation, inclusivity, and prosperity, enhancing community engagement, and investing in education, Redmond can address the values and aspirations of its residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is David Haynes, and then Alex Zimmerman.
Hi, my name is David Haynes. I live in Overlake. Congratulations to the new council. I think it's time that council becomes a full-time job instead of late-night, twice-monthly public comment while allowing out-of-state deregulated rental speculators shortchanged to local residents. We need a 21st century, first world quality resident and commercial and school and library build-out that's robust in its floor plan, that gives people a spit spray personal space reprieve. But we need to stop accommodating the laziness of the road rage driving through Overlake and elsewhere. It's like a 20th century infraction on residents and pedestrians. It's like a perfect example of the problem with the workers having to protest their small business boss. The small business is being shaken down by obsolete, flawed, ill-suited real estate that some bank owns that artificially inflated a double, triple mortgage that shakes down a business like Homegrown and turns against the worker to make ends meet. And we need like true democracy to discipline the greed of the 60% or 70% of the capital gains that's being stolen and taken from the speculators in the rental markets and the commercial real estate that the bank owns that keeps like needing to like have their debt retired. Like you guys got to make the bank like finance only and prioritize only new homes, buildings, and schools instead of remortgaging artificially inflated, dilapidated, and write off some of the debt that they've already artificially inflated and ripped off everybody. That's making it impossible for the worker to make ends meet, being shaken down by rental speculators who are out of state from slave state Virginia, where they fill in the blank with the slave owner and becomes the landowner and any business that they tread on all the workers. And you guys have let them to come into Redmond and rip people off into Stara Park. And your idea of service for the trash has become egregiously offensive to the residents who have to put up with 26 dumpsters being picked up like and dragged like 4 times a week. And I don't live on that side, but my neighbors are going crazy about it. And we have a watered down integrity of when you hear deregulation, it's like favors to greed. It's like you can't deregulate childcare. You have to have vetted, qualified, trustworthy people. You can't have some scorned woman who's been abused on the trail from the migrant, like desperations that they can't escape. And they say, oh, we want to put you in charge of innocent children and let you mess with them. You got to have qualified people. But y'all are trying to water down the integrity of a business to help finance and debt service middlemen of the banks who own all this rundown real estate that you all think, oh, we just got to water down the integrity and the deregulation of childcare and let anybody with any bullcrap like little space just like subhuman mistreat kids. You got to have it more robust build out. You got to have noise abatement so you don't have to like warehouse echo everything. Like when you got to come in here when the construction's going on, you can hear the whole thing because you know you have a low quality like integrity of your building codes.
Thank you. Next is Alex Zimmerman. Oops.
Yeah. Happy New Year's. Yeah. Sie Heil, my dirty damn Nazi fascist junta. My name is Alex Zimmerman, and I will speak about something what has happened, what as I never see before in my life in America for 4 years, what as I live in this, in Bellevue, Seattle. I come from Bellevue Council meeting today, 6 o'clock. They elect deputy mayor, Iranian Muslim Mo Malakatinian, who only 10 years here. So to me, this look like a pure beginning of aggression war. You know what it means against American and Jew. I don't understand why they doing this. No, I understand. They will show who's master, who's boss in Bellevue. You know what it means? Because democratic mafia, это junta, who support only by 10%, you know what it means, 90% no support, can do in everything. When you are slave, when you born like a slave, you will be slave for all your life. So elect man, deputy director, first time, who only 10 years in Bellevue, who Iranian Muslim, is a pure war against Jew in America. And another point, what is absolutely critical, when his work for Amazon make $200,000. So when government support corporation, it's a classic fascism. Need be absolutely idiot doing this, and they doing with all corporation in Bellevue. They support all corporation. Poor people like me and another 50% who totally poor don't have a penny from this government. No penny. All money come to Amazon, Sound, Transit, in another corporation. I don't want because there's too many corporations. Guys, situation what as I see in Bellevue is make me not only sick, it's very dangerous because it's a pure bandita. You know what it means? They want war. They council want war. They show everybody we have war against American and against Jew. They support the Hamas butcher, you know what it means? No problema. They pure anti-Semite, no problema. This very unique, guys, you need to understand what's going on. Is it spread right now all over, you know what it means, state Washington. For this we have 40-year Washington governor who Democrat, you know what it means. Guys, and they interrupt me in Bellevue in every meeting. They don't give me chance speak, show everybody, so I'm nobody. And in my back, almost 20 people vote for me. You know what it means in last election. So I am not some simple man like before. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, guys.
Items from the audience is now closed. Our next item of business is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Oh, yes, Councilmember Fields.
So on the last speaker, I didn't track half of what he was saying because it didn't flow. But I did hear what I thought has the potential to be slander against organizations. I'm not certain of what I'm saying, but I think there's the possibility based on what I think I did hear, and I don't think the city of Redmond wants to be involved in giving somebody a public forum to slander either organizations or individuals in the way that I just heard the possibility of. I don't know what the facts are, but I think that we need to reconsider our rules of testimony and community engagement before our business meetings, because what I just listened to, I don't want to listen to again.
Thank you for that comment. Council President?
I would just say, you know, we have looked at this item a couple of times, and we did consider adding something into our council rules previously. So if that's of interest to the council to bring it back, we can discuss that at a next talk time, discussing whether we want to bring that back as on the agenda now, especially with new council perspectives.
Councilmember Fields?
Yeah, I remember what Council President is referring to. I do very strongly believe in freedom of speech. I very strongly believe that the community has a right and even a responsibility to come and tell us what they think. But there's a dynamic here and a change, a dynamic that changes the tone of what we hear almost every week. And I think I would welcome, given what we've learned over the past year, an opportunity to look at those rules again.
Thank you for your comments. We will, I'll work with council leadership on that. Our next item of business is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any items to be pulled? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote, starting with Council President Kritzer.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye. And that passes 7-0. Thank you very much. Our next item of business is Ombuds report for the month of December with Councilmember Stewart.
Thank you. I will pick it up where we just left off with the prior conversation to note that council and the mayor's office did receive more feedback from the public on why hateful comments continue to be shared at our items from the audience. And again, it is an issue that the council has studied, and I agree should be studied again with the new composition of our council. So that was something that came up today. Okay, so the past few weeks, we had questions about the recently adopted operating agreement for the county's Health Through Housing site in Overlake. I helped a resident navigate how to participate in council meetings, when to attend, what's going on. The council received an invitation from the Redmond Academy of Theater Arts, and we had some updates from Puget Sound Energy, particularly on some new wind energy that's coming online. We received a resolution on housing and renters' rights from a community group, and we had two comments from a resident, actually a couple of comments from a resident about accessibility around the city, and particularly with challenges related to the Lime scooters. The staff have worked extensively with this individual to make sure that they're able to report them in a timely way. We had an inquiry about police activity in a particular neighborhood, and we had some inquiry about parking related to, in the Education Hill neighborhood, related to the Emerald Heights construction parking. And I just wanted to let the council know that working with staff, I was able to learn that there is a parking mitigation plan in place, and there is a person at Emerald Heights that neighbors can contact should they need to. So if that should come up again, if you are the ombud or you get inquiry about that, I can help pass along that information. I also worked with Amy Sy and Micah this past month to give feedback on the RAP Act as per our city's legislative agenda, to make sure that we were able to provide some good input to the lawmakers who are considering legislation that would bring greater producer responsibility on the issue of recycling and waste generation. I had no visitors to my office hours this month, but I was still there, and I am going to continue this tradition in 2024. So I will be at the Redmond Library on the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 3 to 5 p.m. Oh, and then in the last day or so, there was a comment about some feedback about unleashed dogs being so frequently in our parks, and that was some great feedback, and also a follow-up question or two there. And I believe that is all for the month of December. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Council Vice President Kritzer said that she will share her ombuds items at the next business meeting. Are there any other ombuds items for this evening?
Point of information, I believe it was Councilmember Forsyth in the chat
sorry.
who said that.
Once
Thank you.
again, it will take me a few weeks to get it all sorted out. Yes, Council Vice President Forsyth, habits. Council President Kritzer.
I spoke with a couple of different residents about concerns in the city. One resident shared about wanting to make sure that our volunteer groups can effectively engage with city staff when they have different ideas. And I was sharing with them about our hopefully new staff that will be coming online this year that's going to be about engaging with volunteers. I also had a resident who had some questions about our sustainability metrics, and I'm going to connect him both with Jenny Liebeck and also sent the updated sustainability dashboard, and we'll look into a couple questions that I got there.
Thank you. Councilmember Fields.
So I think I'm on buds for January, and it is January. So, and I don't have anything other than one item that I recall from reading this morning, and that is on a very common and very recurring basis, we get a complaint from someone who is very much disadvantaged by Lime bikes being in the wrong location on our sidewalks. And the only thing I want to say about that is, and I think I've said this before, I've actually went with this resident in a wheelchair, and I am very firmly aware of the reality and the truth of what we're being told on how difficult it is to get around obstacles on Redmond sidewalks, especially thoroughfares or main sidewalks. We can't keep 100%, but we should be able to keep at least 4 or 5 primary thoroughfares clear. So I know that the city has responded, and they thank this individual for continuing his vigilance, which also is very insulting to that individual, because he's not on the payroll, he doesn't get paid, and it's not his full-time job to give us notice every time that a Lime bike, or I'm sorry, a Lime scooter, or garbage cans or whatever is in the way. And I think what he's trying to do is say we need to step it up, and I think that that should be something that we look at.
Thank you. Any other ombuds items? Seeing none, our next item of business is committee reports. Are there any committee reports this evening? Councilmember Stewart.
Thank you. Council President Kritzer and I attended the East Side Transportation Partnership in December. There were a few presentations, and we also adopted the legislative agenda, which Council Member Kritzer was again very involved with, and appreciate her attention to detail. The most significant thing I just wanted to mention was we had a presentation from WashDOT on the highway systems plan, and in particular, an extensive amount of feedback that they went out and gathered over the past couple of years. And one of the central questions, I'm going to really oversimplify here, was should we, the state of Washington, spend more time and money building new roads or improving the quality of the roads that we do have, which would require us to shut down some old roads, and how would that impact other kinds of multimodal transit that we're interested in bringing on board? And the overwhelming feedback from the public across the state really was to let's maintain what we have in terms of roadways, but let's not expand roadways. Let's invest in other things. And I just thought that that was a really critical piece of feedback that is resonant not only with our community, but communities statewide, and something that now our state transportation planners are hearing in their plans as well. There was a lively conversation about, of course, what does the state transportation plan and the budget look like, especially with the requirements coming up for culverts and whatnot. But that was just a bit more conversation at this moment. So thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other committee reports? Council President.
Well, first I will say on ETP, thanks for that great summary, and I will say thanks to Amy Tsai and our team for prepping us and doing some work to actually look through that legislative agenda to make sure that we made it as good as it could be from the Redmond perspective. I think we brought some good additions to it to make sure that our priorities were in there and that overall we were, as a coalition, going to be representing ourselves well. So my other committee report is from King Conservation District Advisory Committee. We had a meeting in December. I'd say the biggest item that we talked about was their regional food systems grant, which they spent quite a bit of time doing a deep analysis on that to make sure that it could most effectively be getting out to communities, as well as that it really putting a DEI lens onto that program. And they got some specialists who came to report to us about some of their findings and ways that they're going to improve that program going forward. So that was really interesting, and I think will have an impact both on our community and across King County.
Thank you. Are there any other committee reports? Seeing none, there is no unfinished business, there is no new business, there is no executive session. That concludes our business items for this meeting. If there is no objection, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.